I think you can hear my volume. So we're going to start making this. By the way, this is a this is a recording after I make it, so it might not be in line. So first of all, I just added a quick background and made it a bit better. And then there's a color palette on the side. So you can add lines like that to create the mountain. This won't be a total how-to, but this will tell you how to. Sort of, yeah, practically. So first of all, I'm making the mountain. You really don't have to change the color. Think about the color first. Make the mountain, and then you can color adjust it. So to the top left, I have the, color palette, and I'm going to be using the thickness of the airbrushes to create most of this, but then I will also be using the ballpoint pen. So I quickly get, this is 2x speed, by the way. I spent 48 minutes on this. It's not the best, it's fine. My previous one was better than this, but first of all, I had to start creating all of that, and then I slowly add the colors, but then I mess up because I was drawing on the color palette. I realized that quite a bit after. And I look at it, I'm like, okay, let's add this glow thingy. That's too big. And then I go to this medium size, which I like just good. And I'm adding the color. I don't realize yet I'm doing it on the stupid color palette. So I have to erase everything I did. But I still mess it up at the end. I created a new layer, as you can see. I moved that above so I can still have the colors, but now I'm still drawing on the stupid color palette. There are the colors on the side, but I just like my own colors better. I'm still drawing on the color palette, but I've done too many marks and I don't want to undo it. I changed the hue of the mountains to a bit more softer brown rather than the, the thick brown I had. Now I'm filling in the mountain, not realizing I had drawn the, it over the color palette. Slowly but surely I do. And then I create this mountain top on the side. This is a simple painting, not too hard. My paintings take up to 2 hours like the one I made previously, but this one was only 48 minutes. Slowly I add. You have to make it, I was checking if I'm still recording. I use the airbrush. If you make it smaller, what happens is that, it makes it thicker, some difference being bigger, and yeah. So you just use a smaller brush for the edges and you create this hard line at the end. This is just like a simple mountain. I delete that and I realize, oh shoot, I made it on the color palette. Now what am I gonna do? I decide the simplest thing will be for me to just erase the color palette and redo the thing rather than undoing, because I already drew so much of the mountain. So I redo it, put it back up. You can see the sizes I have. You can slow this video down to half speed, although my voice will be slower. You can just turn off the volume and you can keep doing the step-by-step guide. And I add a simple, this is like a sunrise, sunset, whatever you want to call it. Mountains, you have a bit of the, And let's jump ahead a bit. I'm just adding shadows, but I jumped ahead a bit, so I added in the shadows of the previous mountain and I started making a new mountain here, and slowly I added a bit of texture, and now I'm going to start adding texture while I'm also creating the other mountain, which is weird. I keep jumping back and forth thinking about what to do, but as you get ideas you think about doing more, so this is not as good as my other ones, but still. And yeah, I don't take any breaks during these 45 minutes because I don't need to. It's only 45 minutes. But anyway, you know what I'm doing. I slowly start taking the colors, making them lighter, darker, adding a bit of tones, and slowly adding that. Let's move forward a bit. This is getting boring. So I jumped forward a bit. I started adding a bit of texture, but now I decided I want to make the other mountain I had on the same layer a mountain in front of it. So then I just used the hardline airbrush to create this fogginess, so it gives the separation of the mountains a bit look. So that's why it's still on the same layer. What I'm going to do is slowly but surely keep doing that, and I add a bit of, fog to the bottom because you most likely have fog down here. And, slowly it works. You add a bit, and I think I'm adding a new mountain here. No, I think this is just texture. Maybe. I am adding a new mountain. I'm adding a mountain in front, which is on a new layer this time, so I don't mess it up. No. And then slowly I make this like the sun's rays are hitting it just before it's about to set or rise or whatever, slowly I add the textures, the hard lines, and I'll finally realize, okay, let's just make it bigger and start making it more. Let's, and then what did I do? Oh yeah, I keep adding more texture. Let's stop. I jumped forward again because I was just adding detail and trying to see what would work, but this time I added the quote-unquote shadow / mountain of this mountain on the same layer. I'm just adding texture to this right now. Slowly but surely it will make sense. But then, yeah, the orange part at the bottom, I just realized that would be a nice area to make a beach area. I was thinking about just doing more land, but this time I decided to do just a beach, and then you have some water. Yeah. What I am thinking is slowly adding more stuff. I'm thinking maybe I should not do that and try something else, but I just end up doing it because it's just better, and you'll like it at the end of it. But then I don't like it at the end of it. It worked. I'll say that. It worked. I'd be glad to. I decide here maybe I could, reverse it. But that doesn't look right because then I would put the mountains. I'm going to have a look at this tomorrow and then fix some stuff because you can't see it. Here I'm trying to think about adding just a bit of highlands and stuff. Okay, that's too dark. And I still just stay with it because color adjustments to the wind, but I never color adjust it. I just used the smudge blush on the sandy layer, and all of a sudden you can see the bottom of it, so I just take the airbrush and fill it up. And I'm gonna take this fan brush idea. I had this idea from Bob Ross. He used to do this on real life paintings where you take the fan brush to create the illusion of tiny trees in the background. So that's what I do, but the fan brush isn't that good on here, but it still works. That's all that matters. You can use the fan brush. You can't use the edge fan brush because that's not a thing. You can't change the direction of the fan brush unless you start in a different direction. I add trees, I fix it up, I add more trees and fix it up, so I'm just gonna stop and you'll see me forward. I jumped forward a whole lot. I'm just adding some fan brushes. Just to give you a recap, I added a bit of fog behind the mountains, and then I fixed up the trees so they look slightly better, and the beach is in front of the trees so you don't see the bottom. Now I'm just adding a simple, pine tree it's very fluffy. I'm adding a fluffy pine tree. I added the ground here, and then slowly I add texture to the trunk of the tree, which is too fat for the leaves of the tree, but I can't fix it right now. since I'm recording this. But anyway, I just slowly add some stuff so it goes. I'm so glad I did this at 2x speed, imagining. Anyway, it goes forward. I use a lighter tone to show that I mess it up. I should go from bottom to top, which I start doing. This lighter tone's just to say that the sun's still hitting it from that side instead of, and I go to a darker tone, add it from the inside to the outside while I do it the same on the other side, but there's no lighting on the other side. This creates this thing where it's like darker, but I have to keep adding more since that doesn't look right. One side of the tree is fatter than the other, but that's to make sense because gravity would be pulling the tree down that side. I stopped recording here. Okay, sorry, I ran out of video footage, but that's just because, I put this in 2 parts. Sorry about that cut, but anyway, we're slowly adding the bottom texture because I forgot that. I use this watercolor brush, which creates a good look. But then what I do is I switch to this Thatchet brush, which is called a scratch brush, but I call it Thatchet brush because it looks like Thatchets. Anyway, that's practically the end of it. So I'm just saying, subscribe to my channel, please. I need some views. I'll also do Minecraft videos and chess videos if you help me. If I get 5 wait, I already have 6. If I get a boost of 15 subscribers, that would really help me. You can see my previous painting there, which was so much better than this, but sometimes when you're recording, you really can't think of ideas. I was trying to talk, so I knew what I was going to talk about. I made some notes here, what I needed to talk about. And I'm just adding this front island's just to take up the space of that extra large water area. And, here's the Thatchet brush going slightly in the sand to create that texture. This is like a simple painting that maybe you'd want to put in a background, so like your home screen or something, but so maybe your lock screen where you want to have a beautiful painting so people can see it. Anyway, thank you for watching and bye. Have a good rest of your day.